So, this is my first interview ever in English on my podcast, which is in German Mädchen, Mutter, Matriarchin. Alles, was Frau in der Rush-Hour des Lebens braucht, um glücklich, gesund und ganz zu sein. And for the English listening folks, it's maiden, mother, matriarch. Anything a rushing woman could ever need. So, welcome to the show, and I have a totally special guest today with me as we're meeting here at Big Bear, California, and we've had the most amazing, intense Kundalini Yoga retreat, like culminating in a wedding. And now at the final hours of the day, we meet to talk. And this woman has changed my life. She is sort of a rock star. And she has accomplished something nobody ever did before, because she has 2 Grammys, like Grammys, for spiritual music, which has never ever happened before, that anybody would get a Grammy for music like that. And she is a pure frequency of love. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, to share your knowledge with my audience and to spread more love.
Carolyn, oh my gosh, I feel so spoiled by what you said. First of all, thank you. And I have so much admiration for you. I mean, I am so inspired by you. You are such a yogi, such a leader, such a dharmic being. And all you've accomplished and continue to accomplish, you inspire a lot of us. So I'm very happy to be here with you. I couldn't be happier to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's make this podcast about sound.
Okay.
Because that is your profession.
Yes.
Like, it's music, it's frequency, it's a transmission, and it's sound. So my first question to you is, what is sound?
Sound is vibration and frequency, and it's a vibration and frequency that hold our universe together and also formed it. And the velocity of that vibration determines the part of the universe that we will experience, both inner and outer.
The part of the universe that we are gonna experience. Yeah. That is the sentence we need to unpack.
Yes, you're right. It is, so lower vibrations, so lower frequencies will send us into lower experiences and lower realms. Higher vibrations, higher frequencies, higher experiences, higher realms. So states of bliss, realms of bliss. We always say that we create our own incarnation. We are the authors of the script of our own life movie. And the quality of that script and the watchability of that movie is determined by the words that we use and the sounds that we vibrate with. And if you think about our bodies, these incredible human bodies, which are, micro reflections of the macro universe, in our bodies we have trillions and trillions of sounds happening right now, because we have 30 trillion cells and they all vibrate. And inside the cells are nuclei and protons and neutrons and quarks. And our neurons are firing at frequencies, and our heart is beating with a frequency, and the blood in our veins, and on and on. So the quality of the frequency determines the quality of the human incarnation.
So it's all vibration.
It is.
It's all vibration. And the words we form do make a difference.
Yes. Such a big difference.
Have you always had that knowledge?
No, I have not. But, I think that I've always had an interest. I think a lot of times our soul comes to a certain environment, circumstances, because it knows what its destiny could be. And so I think that I was fortunate enough to have an environment where I was able to find my path, my teacher, my lineage. So we figured out, who our parents would be and what latitude and longitude we needed and what configuration of the stars we needed and the planets, alignments and things like that. So all of us have a choice to make. Are we going to do fate in our lifetime, or are we going to do destiny? And I'm very, very, very fortunate to have found a path and a teacher that allowed me to live my destiny and sort of unpack it all.
The story how you found that actually cracks me up. Could you share it?
What cracks you up?
The story how you found that path, that really cracks me up. Could you share it?
Too. Yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, so yeah, so I was spiritually oriented, you know, as a young person. And when I was in college, I found this yoga from the Himalayan Institute, actually, which I still think is such an amazing place, the lineage of Swami Rama, I believe, if I have that right. I think I have that right. And there's a lineage called Pure Yoga, which I began practicing. And the teacher, who I still think highly of, despite what she said, she was doing sort of an in-depth course. And she was telling us how all these asanas we're learning and all of these techniques and all of this, you know, breath and alignment, all of it, we do it all just to raise the Kundalini. That's why we're doing it all. Hatha yoga, you know, traditional hatha. And I thought that was interesting. I never knew about Kundalini. And somebody in the class raised their hand and they said, well, if all of these asanas are just about raising the Kundalini, why do we not do Kundalini yoga? And her answer was, because it works too fast. And the light bulb went off in my head, because I was like, I don't know how much time everyone else has, but I would like to get something done quickly down here. You know, we've got 80, 90 years, maybe 100 years.
Let's get more efficient. Let's do the powerful stuff.
I know. I said, let's do the powerful stuff to myself. I was like, well, if it's so fast. And I literally, Carolyn, Googled it. That's how I found Kundalini Yoga. I Googled it because it had been denounced in the class.
It's like, it's too fast, it's too dangerous, don't do it because your life might change for the better. It's like, oh, come on.
I know, exactly.
And the way you tell that story, like, I want the strong stuff. I want that stuff that's really working. That cracked me up so much.
I don't know what that is, but I want the fast kind.
And actually, to me, Kundalini Yoga is sort of a frequency. Well, the topic is sound.
Yes.
And to me, the way we work in Kundalini Yoga is you take your body and put a frequency into the body with all the different kinds of movements and placements with the mudras. To me, it is a frequency code that is translated into body language. Yes. So to me, it is a sound. That is how I perceive Kundalini Yoga. And I totally agree. It is the most powerful and life-changing, transformational thing anybody could ever do and should do, even though it's totally weird.
Can't argue with that.
It is.
Well, I agree with you. It's like the type of thing where it is truly a householder practice. You can live your life. You can do everything that you're already doing. We're not trying to make any rules or take any fun away. You live your life. Do everything that you love. Have all of your hobbies. Have your family. Have your job. Just add a little Kundalini Yoga and see what happens. Yeah. The whole universe opens to you.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And it is a universe of sound. Yes. And the way we practice is a practice, okay, I just explained. To me, it is, I put a frequency in a form of body language, and that changes my entire being. But we also practice a lot with mantra. And when we're talking about sound, mantra is a form of sound that is easier to perceive as such. And that is your profession, basically. I mean, you're obviously a Kundalini Yoga teacher, a high accomplished Kundalini Yoga teacher who has gone like all the way through, as everybody can tell who watches the video, by just the choice of clothing.
It's going a little too far sometimes, in my case.
All in.
All in.
All in.
Exactly. Got a little carried away.
Yeah. How did you start? Like, because sound is so profound. When you like create a Grammy out of sound. Have you always been a singer?
Well, I guess that depends on how I saw myself. I always sang, you know, I was part, you know, just like any child, I was part of whatever was in front of me, you know, with school and even outside of school and things like that. And even with an orchestra, actually a professional orchestra before. But it wasn't anything that I understood as being something one could pursue. I didn't know you could take lessons. I didn't know you could make a profession out of it. I mean, of course you knew there's singers out there, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like in your consciousness, like there's certain things that you just never realized. It was like the day somebody told me that he was vegan. I never met anyone vegan before, so I didn't have any context for it. And then he explained to me what vegan meant. So it's kind of like that with singing. Like I never really knew you could just sing, you know? So even though I loved it and of course did it. And then when I met my teacher and when I started down the path of Kundalini Yoga, I really started hearing just so many songs. All the mantras I heard as melodies. During the meditations, I would hear songs and melodies and harmonies, and I really, really, really fell in love with these mantra sounds. Yeah. We have this, as you say, sound is everything, and when you think of Kundalini, you think of sound. And we have this this cave in our mouth. Our mouth is considered the cave, you know, the cave of sound. And then we have the tongue inside the cave. And it really is the lingam and the yoni as well. And it's the tantric. So the person, namo mantra, mantra, namo jantra, jantra, namo tantra, tantra. And the one who has control over the mantra and the jantra and the Shiva and the lingam and the cave and the tongue and the cave, the one who has control over that is the tantric. And that's where you get the tantric, the mastery of that union, the union of the tongue and the mouth. And then the tantric force starts to move through you, the tantric force being the diagonal force, which breaks through blocks, which breaks through obstacles, which moves very quickly through time and space. It has a relationship to the blue color of Saturn, to the Akash, the blue color of the ether, right?
There's the amount of information coming through is so intense. And to just translate it, if you really learn to use your language, to use your voice, to use the patterns you put into your mouth, that is a way of mastering everything. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's a beautiful synopsis. And to like go down that road a little bit further, we have 84 meridian points on the roof of our mouth. And those 84 meridian points are like codes. And you use your tongue to dial in the codes on the meridian points. And we liken the yogis, especially the Udasi yogis, they talk about the roof of the mouth being the dome of the sky, and they talk about the meridian points being the stars in the universe. And when the tongue starts to make different combinations and connect the different meridian stars, we have constellations, we have broadcasts, energy broadcasts. And those broadcasts communicate with the glandular system, the human system, hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, they work together and they actually produce peptides. So your sounds, your vibrations that you create with the tantric movement of tongue and mouth, those sounds become biological because the peptides are created with those sounds. They are distributed through the body and they dock onto the cells. And then once they dock onto the cells, it's not uncommon that they affect the nucleus of the cell itself. And so very much you become what you say. And the reason why we practice mantra, there's only one reason why we practice mantra, and because it's the highest frequency sound that we know to exist. If we knew higher frequency sounds, we would practice those. We have the most advanced sounds, as far as we know, that have ever arrived on the planet Earth. And we have many stories of how they arrived here against impossible odds so that we could practice them and become superhuman instead of just human.
Yeah.
It's a whole universe.
It is a whole universe. There's so many roads I could go down with you right now.
Yeah.
Because there's like with the peptides and how it really affects the body. I am so interested in biohacking, and there's that what I do, I call it spiritual biohacking, and there's that component. It's called nitric oxide, and it's produced through sound, through vibration, in the nasal cavities, and it affects the entire body system. Like it relaxes the blood vessels. It's good for the now I'm lost for words. Like with everything with the heart. Like can't think of the correct vocabulary right now.
I know.
Cardiovascular system.
Yeah. English is my first language. I couldn't think of it either.
Okay. Cardiovascular system. So it's extremely beneficial for pretty much everything. And it is like a definite source of health for your mitochondria. When you talk about the nucleus of the cell, there's not just the nucleus, there's the mitochondria. So there's a scientific way of looking at it that we can, at this point, understand. And then there's so much more that you've just opened up as a universe. So that would be one path we could go down. But then there is another path we can go down. And I'd like to ask the question, because I feel like music is hitting me in different chakras. We have that chakra system, so from the root to the sacral chakra, and then there's the navel point and the heart chakra. So for everybody who's not that familiar with that system, you probably have heard about like these different areas and how different qualities are connected to them. And to me, it's when I hear different kinds of music, they directly hit me at different chakras. And they do something to me. And there's certain kinds of music that I cannot listen to because it pulls me down. What is your take on that?
Well, I'm impressed, first of all, because most of the time people aren't necessarily conscious of which chakra a song is projecting from. So the aura of the song is set by the person with the biggest energy field who made the song. That could be the singer, that could be the producer, that could be the drummer, you know. So that person, whose ever aura is over the song, is usually the presiding energy field. But sometimes you'll listen to a song and, you know, the percussion is at the navel point. And it's interesting because you are sensitive to that. And that's an unusual skill that usually we encourage people to develop through practice. So first of all, I'm impressed. But yes, also I agree with you completely that different songs are projected from different chakras, and different chakras are energy centers. So there's a positive polarity and there's a negative polarity. And we might be projecting a negative polarity from a lower chakra, and you might be saying, this doesn't serve me.
A lot of times, actually. Yeah. There's a lot of music I can listen to it for like a couple of minutes, sometimes like 30, like half an hour, and can enjoy it, and it's pretty song. But I can feel how my energy field is shifting towards a certain direction that is not serving me. So it's like, okay, I've got enough. I cannot listen to that music any longer. And yes, I'm a weirdo.
Usually it's it makes so much sense, and I think you know, in the future people will have such a well-developed sensory system that everyone will feel this way. But it's usually the singer that sets the vibration. The singer will sing from a certain chakra, and frankly, it's the majority of the time the second chakra, because everybody has the second chakra turned on this planet. The sex is a dominant force. What were you going to say?
I'm just thinking about. I very often also feel anger from the navel point. Also. So if you're projecting from the higher centers, it's something that you're usually doing consciously. I have a story for you. Do you want story time? Of course.
So I was teaching years ago, and I was teaching this topic. So to help people kind of develop sensitivity to hear where a singer was coming from, which chakra a singer was projecting from. So if a singer is projecting from the heart, we'll feel it at the heart. They're projecting from the second chakra, we'll feel it at the second chakra, you know. So we were doing this exercise, playing different tracks. And this one lady, she really enjoyed these teachings. And she came up to me afterwards. She said, I work with this huge band. I wish I could say who they are, but I'm not allowed. And she's like, I work with this huge band, and this guy's my best friend. And like, oh my gosh, you have to meet him. I'm like, okay. So she goes and she talks to him. And she's like, you have to meet my friend Gurujas. Like, she talks about these, like, singing from different chakras, and she has these teachings about like the polarities of the chakras and the sounds, and you know how you can vocalize. And he goes, honey, I mean, that sounds cool, but we're a lower chakra band, so.
Okay, I mean, that's...
He was like, we're a lower chakra band.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sex sells, and whatever people get in resonance with sells. So people are either like sex-driven or angry.
Yeah.
So that sells. Because people can get, like they resonate with it. And it makes, like, I totally understand, because second chakra music energizes. I get energized. So it very often for the first couple of minutes makes me feel good. It's like, okay, let's come on, go dance. But after a while, I feel like I'm not well anymore.
How do you think that you developed this sensitivity? Because when you said, okay, come on, let's go dance, you said it from the second chakra. How did you develop that?
I don't know. It's always been there, I guess.
Yeah. Well, so what you can do, what we can all do, is we're all going to be exposed to lower frequencies. It's inevitable because of the realm that we live in. But so we would receive second chakra at second chakra. Or if someone's speaking to you, they're speaking from the second chakra, you receive it at second chakra, but then you can pull it up and you can start to play games. Like you receive the second chakra because they're projecting from the second chakra, but then you can pull that energy up to the heart and then project out the heart and speak to them through the heart, right?
Yeah.
And then you can go, okay, well, then I'm gonna speak to them from the heart. They're gonna receive from the heart. And then you can go, well, I want to speak to them from the third eye, so they're gonna receive through the third eye. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when conversations eventually die off if the frequency doesn't land.
Yeah, that's true. One lady told me, she goes, I was talking to this guy, and she had the sensitivity too. She's like, I was talking to this guy who's very second chakra. She goes, so I just decided I was going to just beam on his third eye, like, and I guess he started talking out his third eye after that. So
okay, wow.
The different chakras that you speak from certainly do have a quality of energy, and to be conscious of the quality of energy and the chakra that you're speaking from is a power. It's one of the powers that we have access to as human beings that most people are not tapped into. But if you can be conscious of which chakra that you're speaking from, you can have tremendous power in your life, in all your relationships and interactions.
I am 100% convinced about that.
Yeah.
Because it's, you can just pick up people and you can direct them without them even noticing.
Yes. Well, and it's like this. It's like if I put out my hand to shake your hand, you have to meet my hand where it is, right?
Yes.
Because if you keep your hand there, my hand's up here, then we're at an impasse.
Yeah.
Right?
We're never going to meet.
Right. So that's how it is with the chakras too. Yeah, it's you can pull someone up, or they can, we receive the energy and then we can pull it to a different place. This usually happens with advanced practices, the development of that sensitivity.
I guess I've always had it, but my consciousness about it grew through the practice.
Yes.
To now I know why I start feeling bad. Now I know where the energy's been drained.
Yeah. One thing that we can do if we really want to relate to somebody, like we really want to feel the depth of a relationship and we want to establish rapport and high frequency communication, I like talking through the aura, like aura to aura. And to people might be wondering, what are Carolyn and Gurujas talking about? Like, how do you project from a certain chakra? And so I feel like
it sounds nice, but
how do you do it?
What are you talking about?
Let's talk about how to do it. Let's talk about how to do it. So what you do is you picture the chakra. So let's say you want to speak from the heart. We have this phrase, fake it till you make it.
Yes.
So you picture the heart center. And we can tell your listeners it's a green, golden, bright white light at the heart center. That's the heart chakra.
Yeah.
And then it moves at a frequency. So you picture like the energy moving, whirling, right? Like a planet orbits. And you want it to move fast because you want it to have a high frequency. And then you just imagine the sound coming from the heart. And you can even imagine it going into the other person's heart. And then you're speaking from the heart and you're in a whole different realm. The heart has a power of 108 suns. It's the realm of acceptance.
Yes.
And so if you can accept, then you can transcend because nothing can bother you.
Yeah.
So that's how you speak from a chakra. Or when I said the aura, we don't know where the aura is, that's fine. Or you can't see it, that's fine. Or maybe you can because you're psychic, whatever. But you just imagine that you can see it. The aura is your electromagnetic field. It is literally measurable. We could take one of those swivel magnets and find your aura, find my aura right now. So you just picture the aura. You imagine that you know where it is, and you speak from yours into the other person's. And that's a way that I enjoy relating. I feel like, we connect deeply when we do aura to aura. Yeah. Heart also, the lower centers anyone can do, because everyone's down there anyway. Emotion, commotion.
Yes.
So it's much nicer to give someone the experience of the higher centers when you speak to them.
I think it's also fascinating.
Yeah.
And talking about the heart and things that matter to the heart, like relationships, like falling in love, finding the right partner, and the power of sound. Because there is that sound current that I personally struggle with still. But we have like mantra and sound currents hold power to change a life.
Yes.
And this is something probably many people need time to wrap the mind around, that a sound current, that a song, a mantra song, has the capacity to redirect your entire life.
Yes.
And
it's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe, but I have come to witness that during the last couple of months. And you have put out so much beautiful music and so many beautiful mantras. What is the most profound story you can share about a mantra that has changed a person's life?
Oh, what a great question. And also a hard question.
I know,
because I've got a lot in those files.
You've got so many stories.
I've got a lot in the brain files. Well, one that jumps to mind right away, because it made such an impression on me at the time. I thought that I didn't understand the translation correctly, actually. So this was in Russia. And this woman came up to me with a translator, and she said, I want to tell you something. And I'd seen her before, but it had been a while. I had to have the translator tell me 3 times because I was so astonished. She said, I woke up one morning and I was experiencing paralysis, which actually, Carolyn, is not uncommon. There's a lot of people I found out that experience partial paralysis in their bodies at times. But this paralysis got worse and worse until she really couldn't move, and she was hospitalized, and she could barely communicate, and it would just took over her body, and she was laying in a hospital bed, terrified, of course, as you would be. And she was, like I said, she was able to communicate, but just barely. And the doctors just began running tests, and nothing was found at the time. I mean, sometimes you have to wait for this test and that test and the other thing, and all of this is happening. She's in the hospital bed, and they're calling in specialists. And she tells her family, whoever was there taking care of her, that she needed to hear the song that we actually played today. Ikar Das Waheguru is the one she wanted to hear.
I love that one.
I love it too. Thank you. It has a lot of voices on it. That's why I love it so much, I think. But she said that she needed to hear it, and they played it for her, and she listened to it on repeat, and she was able to get feeling back in her body listening to this in the hospital. And nobody could understand why all of a sudden she could move again, because they didn't identify a problem, but they also didn't have hope that it was going to get better, because it wasn't. It was getting worse. And she told me, I know that song cured me. I know that song healed me. And what was it? Was it the song? Of course, it was the vibration in the song. What it was, and they can measure this now scientifically. I mean, our music has been used in the neuropsychiatric hospital at UCLA.
The White Sun music? Mm-hmm. And they measured it?
They used it. So the neurologist that used it there, I have another neurologist story for you. Can we talk for like a week?
Yes,
we have
please.
a lot to talk about. Okay, I have to scale back. I'll go back to this paralysis story. So So she told me that she goes, I'm 100% convinced that it is this song that cured me. And so to explain what happened to her, it's just that her neuron pathways were holding a pattern of paralysis. And that pattern was causing pain and suffering. And when she listened to the Ikar Das Waheguru, there was a different frequency, a different vibration, and that frequency overrode the negative pathways in her brain that were holding the paralysis and transformed them into pathways that were serving her instead of pathways that were weakening her.
That is so interesting, like the neural language, but the pathways in the brain, which is like part of your nervous system.
Yes.
And the nervous system keeps track of anything and everything, no matter whether it was really experienced or you just imagined or pulled from somewhere else. And you're now saying like, yeah, her neurons were holding a pattern of paralysis. And consciously she like was not aware of where's that coming from. It's just like scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listening to music overrode that pattern.
Yeah. Yes. And you know what? I know it's a miracle. You're actually giving me chills just recounting it. But you can go on, TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, whatever. You can now see, they're doing this at the University of Michigan. They're doing it around the world. You can now see them taking people that have cancerous tumors. In the University of Michigan, it is specifically tumors of the liver, cancer in the liver. And they're playing sounds for those tumors in the liver, and you can watch the tumors not shrink, disappear. You can watch this in real time. Your listeners, your viewers can go right now and watch this happen. And why is it not more widely known? We all know the answer to that. Does sound make anybody any money?
No.
It sure doesn't.
Well, it does sometimes. If you're like, if you've won a Grammy, you probably make some money, like a little.
Well, we should talk to the powers that be about how much money it should be.
I know. It's the industry is crazy. Like no matter what artist, to really make money off an art is difficult.
But this is incredible. I mean, you can watch it right now, and it's actually even been approved to use as a treatment. I think it's FDA approved now.
That is so amazing.
It's amazing. But we don't know about it because, of course, it doesn't fit the narrative.
No.
So.
But the good thing is, I'm gonna put the link to the White Sun website beneath this interview, and everybody can just check out your music and listen to it and know it's gonna uplift no matter what. With my question, I wanted to take us towards the topic of relationships and frequency.
Yes.
Is there a particular mantra with the capacity to heal a relationship and to like reestablish a deep soul level connection between people? Because I think this is something so many people have a longing for, to find a soulmate, to find like the twin flame.
Yes. Oh, what a beautiful question. As you talk about it, I feel like this love coming from you, because I feel like this is something that you have personal experience with. It must be, guiding people in that direction, or perhaps you in a personal way as well. It's just you start to emanate love when you talk about love. Anyway, there's a lot of mantras that help us, but one that we've been working with recently that seems to just be nothing short of miraculous is this So Purkh mantra. So it's S-O and then P-U-R-K-H is the second word. Now, this is a long mantra.
It is a long and difficult mantra.
It is a long, difficult mantra. And you can go that route, and objective fact, it will start to change your relationships for the better. It's like we use the analogy of jumping into the ocean. If you jump into the ocean, you're going to get wet. And we don't care what you know about oceans, and we don't care if you believe in water. None of it matters. If you jump in the ocean, objective fact, you will be wet after that. So it's the same as mantras. If you listen to a mantra, objective fact, the frequency is going to get higher. It's going to get faster, and it's going to serve you better than a lower frequency. This is a fact. It is the same as 1 + 1 = 2. It is a fact. If you start to play a So Purkh in your house, You know, I knew this girl who couldn't have been less interested in yoga, which is fine. It's fine. Of course it's fine. Everyone has their own path. No problem. And she was living with her fiance, who was like the CEO type guy. Also no interest in yoga. Perfectly fine. But when it became my problems, when she started asking me for help with her relationship, right? and she's, what's your opinion? And this and this and this. And so finally, she's having so many problems in her relationship, but she wants this marriage to work. She wants to get married, and she wants the relationship to work, and she can't understand why it's not working. And very reluctantly, she played Sopurik in her house. She put it under her bed, super quiet, so it wouldn't bother her fiance, I guess he was. And eventually I asked her, I said, so is it helping? Her name was Rachel. I said, Rachel, is it helping? She goes, mostly yes. She couldn't believe that she had to do something like that. You know, it was so funny. It didn't fit her idea of her life, but it worked. It worked, and she kept playing it, and their relationship was healed, and they were brought closer together.
Did they marry?
I lost track of her. I don't know if they did. But certainly she was really happy with the direction their relationship went in after she started playing the mantra.
And that is so easy to just put it up like on very low key. So
yeah,
it is in the room. You have the frequency, the sound in the room, and it's starting to work on you like a miracle.
You know what? We should give your listeners the Bob and Hall version that we've been using.
Oh my God. I think so. I could try and set up something where they can download it.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So underneath this podcast, you will not only find the White Sun link to the website, but also I'll put up something where you can download the Sopurik in a very original and holy version, and you could like put it on your phone and turn it on overnight, put it on very, very low volume to just have it around and see if it works miracles for you or not.
Yeah. And I'd give it a chance to work. Give it a little time. I don't think you need the time. I think it'll work immediately, but give it a little time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Much easier than Sopurik is like Waheguru, if people just want to use Waheguru.
Waheguru. And you have a beautiful version of that too. So if you would like to have like more musical version, that is easier to take for the ear.
Thank you. That's actually very relevant to what we were discussing. That's our Michelle.
Yeah. Michelle, would you like to have a show up on my podcast?
Michelle, come.
This is my podcast. Michelle, it's her wedding day. And tell us what mantra got you married.
Sopurik.
There you have it. We love you, Michelle.
And I was married by the lovely Guru Jas.
Could you say that again?
I was married by the lovely Guru Jas, my teacher.
My privilege, my honor.
Oh. So, put on the mantra box. That's how we call it. If you put mantra into a very tiny music box, like a loudspeaker, and you have it in your room, and have it play and have it work the miracles for you.
Yeah. And don't make it complicated. Don't overthink it. Just press play. It's the easiest yoga posture in the world.
Yes. It works while you're asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to leave for every listener in this podcast, like a message to the world?
Yeah, you know what comes to mind that I would like to share is just please listen when you speak. Please listen to your words. Feel your words as they leave your body. Feel the effect they have on your own system. Be aware of the vibrations that you produce, because one wrong word spoken can hurt you. It can mar you. And one beautiful, correct word, loving word spoken can uplift you and can change your reality forever. So please Be aware of the power that you wield with your sound, and make a real effort to listen to the things that you say.
Thank you so much for your time, for your wisdom.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for all that you do. I'm happy to be here, very happy to be here, but really thank you for your leadership and all the people that you help and uplift.
Thank you. And you and me, as you've been listening to this, in German I say, sei wild, sei frei, sei du und fühle dich geliebt. Which means in English, be wild, be free, be you, and feel loved. Take care. See you next time, and thank you.